CINEMASSACRE is dead. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is CINEMASSACRE, and I love to play Red Orchestra 2. But you shouldn't play it because it's too hard for you. Really, don't play that game. That game is going to destroy you. You will not be able to walk. You will hate yourself. You will break your entire house because of how bad you are at that game. So don't ever, ever, ever play Red Orchestra 2. It's too hard for you. And today I'm not here to talk about that. I'm actually here to talk about something that, again, I guess has been happening for a long time. I mean, there are people that have been making videos about this, and some of them have been better received than others, and I think it's fine. I think there's no problem with that. But I wanted to talk about a little bit about what's been happening lately with CINEMASSACRE, the channel from YouTube where James Rolfe, aka the Angry Video Game Nerd shtick, comes from. He basically, as a lot of people put it, he basically created online video game reviews by using a character. And as so many people have pointed out, he has been an influence in hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people who are now in the industry of films who grew up watching him and be like, oh my God, it's James Rolfe when he does that thing. It's funny. And there were imitators, and there are imitators. The Irate Gamer is probably the most infamous one because his reviews are the same and they're terrible, and he's not funny, and he's not amusing, and he's not entertaining. He doesn't have any talents, except maybe video editing, which I guess he's already better at than me because I don't do video editing. Ow! 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 Sorry, my neck hurts. But that's not really here and there. That's not what I'm here to talk about. I think that there are a lot of things that you can talk about if you want to talk about CINEMASSACRE. But what I wanted to talk about today is CINEMASSACRE has died. And the reason for this, more likely, is the opportunities that James Rolfe has lost over the years because of different excuses that somehow don't make sense. So to give you a little bit of context, James Rolfe grew up, he started making films that he doesn't call them movies, he calls them films. He has over 300 or 350 or 400 videos, movies to his name, something like that. And obviously this is like C-movie quality. This is just like a camcorder that people had in the past before cell phones, obviously, and he would just record himself and his friends when he could get his friends to come over, and he made all these films. And you could tell that he liked it. The films, I've watched some of them, they're not great. They're actually horrible, but for the quality of a child, it's like better than average, I guess. He had a passion for it. He studied, he went to film school. He got expelled from film school, then he came back to film school or something like that. I don't know if he actually finished it. I think he did. But the thing is that he knows what he's doing, and he had a career in video editing before. He made training videos for companies. He said that in one of his videos where he showed how to make a video. So he has experience in doing this. And he's been doing this for a long time. And one of his dreams, according to the book, which I never read because apparently it's been horribly reviewed and I will never read that crap, is that he wanted to make a movie. He was like, if I can just make a movie, it's all going to be meaningful. It's all going to be worth it again. It's all going to be amazing, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to make more movies with this, etc., etc., etc. He made the Angry Video Game Nerd movie. The Angry Video Game movie is a piece of shit, and you should never watch it because it's garbage, it's boring, it tries too hard to be something that it's not. And the prevailing theory is that he embezzled some of the money because he had let's say he had in total $350,000, maybe more, 400, 500, privately funded movie. He had to go to Hollywood to film it, LA, and be stupid and waste and tax himself instead of just making something a little bit more indie and more loved by the fans. He decided to make this big ass film that took a long time to make and came out and was basically just vilified by everyone. No one said it's good. There's some people that said there's some things over there, but it's basically a niche movie. You're not going to like it. There are a lot of callbacks to other things and nothing else. It's a bad movie. There's nothing else to say about it. It's a bad movie. We're not here to talk about how bad it is. Go watch the reviews. They're out there. They're terrible. There's nothing good about that movie at all. And I've never watched it, and I never will. There's nothing entertaining about it. And there are theories. In fact, I remember I think I wrote a script once when I was bored one day, because that's what I do. I write things when I'm bored, and I read things when I'm bored, which is all the time. I'm always bored. I always need a distraction. I need something to do. This is why I do YouTube. It's a distraction for me. I really my brain needs distractions constantly. I need to have 20 things to do in the day. Otherwise, I go crazy. My brain just stops. I can't relax. I need to relax by doing things. That's how I relax. And I remember I wrote a script which was kind of like AVGN Origins kind of thing. And I think I have that somewhere. And if he would have made that, I think that it would have come out much better than it did. But eventually, this is just a pipe dream. It's not going to happen. But I did write a script, and I know I have it somewhere in my computer, either in this one or in my laptop. I know I did write it. Maybe it was on this one and I deleted it. I'm not sure, but it was there somewhere. The thing is that it doesn't matter. I was watching CINEMASSACRE, and the whole point of this video was to just claim that CINEMASSACRE has basically had a falling out. It's died. Like, there's barely any uploads. When they upload something, it's the Neighbor Nerds, which it's the sequel to James and Mike Mondays. Mike Matei, also known as Mike Matinee. He was his friend. Apparently, they're not friends anymore, or they are. Apparently, there was a birthday picture, so they were together. But he had a fallout with all of his other friends. And some of the complaints that I wrote here, these are some of the complaints that I know about. So, no time. He has said it multiple times that he doesn't have time anymore to do as many videos, which is, I mean, we can debunk this right now. People with families and children have time for what they like to do, especially if it's their livelihood. Because at this point, I'm actually more worried about what is James doing for money at this point. We don't know. At this point, if we assume that he's not working any job and he's taking care of his family or his children in this case, 24/7, he doesn't have a job. So I guess I have to assume that he's getting ad revenue from all the other videos. And then I remember that a while ago he released a video where he did, what's the name of this? He did there was a video that he made, which was, I don't remember what the video was, but whatever. I was saying that he doesn't have time for anything, but he made a video. Yeah, he made a video where all the AVGN episodes and all the cussing were cut out. I never watched that. I think the cussing is part of the nerd character. It's like, this freaking thing, this is so silly. Like, it's not the same as saying fuck, shit, ass, etc. There's a little bit of power to those words, even if they're overused in the reviews that he did. Then the second thing, of course, is the Screenwave Media. Screenwave Media is essentially a website, or I'm sorry, a company that you can hire so that they can grow your YouTube channel for you. But at the same time, you have to pay them every month, and you have to give them a cut of the revenue. So unless the channel is really big, or you're starting out with a base of money, like if you start a channel from zero, and said, "Hey, Screenwave, I want to hire you guys to expand my channel," and they did that, and I guess that you could probably grow your channel to a couple 100,000, maybe even 1 million viewers. I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. There are people who have no talent whatsoever, and they just repost the same garbage every day. They have millions of views and millions of followers. It's possible. And in fact, I read some reviews about Screenwave Media, and apparently it's not the worst evaluated one. It's like a 3.5 out of 5 in some websites that I try to find online. So I guess it's not terrible, but it's not great. Obviously, there's the other thing which happened, the plagiarism event, where James said that his editor was the guy that was like copy pasting different things from like different reviews of other people that were very obscure. Then they took him and he read them, and James got caught lying about it. He said, like, I write all the reviews, I do all the things, and then he said, like, this happened, and then he basically just blamed the editor. So it's like, whose fault is it? The thing is that it happened, and we have to blame James because he's the guy in charge. He's the guy in charge. Obviously, the other point, there are low views on the channel right now. Like, his videos are not getting the amount of views that they should be getting, or were getting a couple of years ago. Not even like 5, 6, 7 years ago, just like 1 or 2 years ago, when the like upload schedule just really started to drop off. You could tell that the views were starting to dwindle like really, really, really hard. They were just starting to take a nosedive immediately. In fact, the low views is a problem. And obviously the other thing is the poor quality of his videos that's been happening. Like, you can tell right now if you watch some of James Rolle's videos now that there's really nothing else that's going on. Like, he's making Neighbor Nerds, and he's focused on his band, which I didn't write on my script, but I just remember that he's got his band, Rex Viper, or Rat Diaper, whatever the fuck is. Rex Diaper. I know it's not Rat Diaper, but that's what I call it. And other people call it too. Rancid Diaper. That's what some people call it. And it's basically a shitty homage band. It's a garage, father band, I guess, like garage father band. Like, it's like some, like, it's like it's not enough for a professional outing, and he treats it like this is his big project, and he's been focusing a lot on that. we think, at least people think, there's going to be at the time of this video, he's going to be in a Street Fighter show, and they're going to do Rick's diaper. I don't know why. I don't think that the guy does enough, but I think it's going to attract some people that are like hardcore fans of this. But the music is terrible. When he released the channel for Rick's diaper, it has like no views. It has titanic amounts of dislikes to likes because they're not good. And the main complaint is that people are charging money to watch that band, which is terrible. So I agree. I mean, music is terrible. I heard them songs. They're not bad, but they're not good. And they're definitely not good enough for you to pay money to watch them. If anything, you're just going there to watch James Rolfe sing. Sorry, to play the guitar. That's it. And do the stupid like duck walk that he does. That's it. And of course, the final thing is the lack of upload schedule. Like, he's uploading like what, 1-2 videos per month right now? That's not getting him views. That's not getting him hard money. And this goes back to what I was saying about the money. So where the hell is the money coming from? And this is what I know about the movie, by the way, is that basically this is just a theory. Just a theory. He has to have embezzled a lot of that money. Because there's no way that he made that movie for like the equivalent of $350,000, of which like a third went to taxes, and the other third probably went to the movie, and he made this pile of shit, and he had to ask a lot of people to work for free, and those people were like, yeah, man, I'll work for free because I'm a big fan. Idiots, by the way. Always work for money and always sign a contract. Always. This is not a joke. Always do it. But, you know, that's besides the point. But why did this happen? Why did it have such a big fallout? And this is what I'm going to show on a little website that I have. But there are two theories that I have, and they're theories because it's got to be one or the other. There's no other option in the middle. It's got to be one or the other. There's no third option. The only possible third option would be that his children require 24/7 healthcare, which can be a factor. But if that were the case, then he would probably be working even harder to get more money, make good quality videos so that they can get more money, get more views, get more growth, and then be able to focus on it. But I don't think it's that. And my two theories are the following. So the first one is that James Rolfe, the character, the actor that plays the angry video game nerd character, who as far as I know is just called the Nerd, he doesn't have a name, an official name. I think he's too attached to his children. And I'm going to show a little video about this, and I'm going to show a little bits of information about what I've been trying to gather from the internet to try and understand exactly why James has had such a big fucking fallout on the algorithm, on the views, on everything. And that's the first theory, that he's really extremely attached to his children. And I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to show some videos and some stuff that I found on the internet that's going to support this theory. And the second theory is that his wife, April, is preventing him from doing what he wants. And again, I'm going to show a few documents and things that help me to justify this theory that I have, because it's not a theory out of nothing. Like, I have a little bit of a base to create this theory around. So let me go over here, and I'm just going to close this over here. There we go. There we go. So, here we go. All right. So the first thing is, this is the CINEMASSACRE Truth. This is a website that shows a lot of that. It's basically, well, they can tell you, I mean, the most active CINEMASSACRE video fan community on Reddit. It's basically a place where we can laugh and like mock a few of the things. Maybe not laugh and mock, but directly. But we're trying to. It's basically a site where people just make memes and stuff about like James and like the fact that the channel has had such a downturn lately and everything. And I watched this little video. And basically, I'm not going to show you this video. It's 3 minutes and 33 seconds, so you can watch it if you want to. It's fine. There's no problem with that. But I'm not going to show you this video. But you can go to the link. I mean, just type this, Red Cow Arcade on. I mean, just go to the CINEMASSACRE Tree. You're going to find it. I'm going to post the links of all the stuff that I'm going to be showing you. And the time, what the hell is it? The time zone? The time note? The time thing. Timestamp. That's the name of that. So this video is, like I said before, this video basically talks about what I said before. It talks about like all the other problems that he has. He has no time. He has technical problems. that he gave the channel, basically he handed the channel over to Screenwave Media and said like, you guys take over so that he can focus on like the technical part. And this guy from Red Cow Arcade, who I honestly don't know much about, I don't want to lie and pretend that I watch all his videos and stuff. No, but he says some very good points, and he stipulates like, if you're giving up the part to Screenwave so that they take over, why, and you can handle the technical stuff, why not do it backwards? Why not you focus on the content and they can deal with the technical stuff? And that's a very good point. And this is all taken from things that James Rolfe has said. This is not speculation. This is all things that he has said. Anyway, the video's there, so if you want to watch it, it's basically that, complaints about like no time, Screenwave Media took over and ruined it, the plagiarism problems, low views, poor quality of the latest videos, and non-existent upload quality, or quantity in this case. So if you want to watch that video, go over, and it's on the CINEMASSACRE Truth. The second thing, which I wanted to talk about, was this. And I wrote a little post here that said, miss Beamy opportunities. Beamy is what we call Jimmy, by the way, in the biz. And I said, this is what I wrote, asking the question. I read somewhere that Beam was offered movie cameos and to star in some movies, but he rejected them because of, no time and my kids, and that's just crap. Like, the argument is saying that you have to kill children and you don't have time to be able to like do your job is like not a valid argument. And the reason it's not a valid argument is very direct. There are people who do this and they have children. Like if everyone in the world, if no one could have a job as soon as they had children, then I could believe it. If only like 1% of people could do it, I would believe it. But most parents work even if they have children. And this is something that James knows. So the argument is just not really in there. So I looked at this and I started to see, because I knew that he had rejected cameos in movies. And I'm going to get to this in a second. So he said the VHS2 guy started getting him as leading one of the film's settlements. They say they talked to the ape, to his wife, but they couldn't get a hold of James directly. So I went over and I read this, and I tried to find here, and this is what I found about they're tracking for VHS, which I assume it's a movie. I've never watched it, but basically they say here, basically they said here, I originally asked Simon to write it for the Angry Video Game Nerd, James Rolfe, because we're huge fans of that show. And this is what I meant before. Like, there are people who grew up with James between the period of 2004, 2006, 2007. Now it's 2024, so that's 15, 16 years later, pretty much, 18 years later. And these people, again, they grew up with James Rolfe, and they're like, oh my God, now that these people are famous, you can use that as an in to make your own movies, because this is what James was always talking about. He's always like, I'm a big fan of movies. I'm a movie curator. I love to make movies. I've made over 300 films. So it doesn't add up that they said this, but he was busy doing the Video Game Nerd movie. So this makes sense. Like, you're making a movie, but that movie took like 2 or 3 years to make. I don't think that he was like constantly working with that. And then this is the part that's really missing. I did speak to his wife for a bit. I actually think he was a fan of the first VHS. It's just that the timing didn't work out. Again, the timing didn't work out. The time meme, I mean, the 540 meme, that's already there. I'm not even going to talk about it. My first problem with this is that James Rolfe has been talking about making movies in Hollywood for a long time, for a very long time, even before he wanted to make the movie, the AVGN movie. And he had a sketch, and he had an idea, he had a script or whatever. Then he gets the opportunity to start in other movies, and he's like, I'm sorry, I'm making my own movie. I can't go there and like film for like, what, 1 month? You're just filming, James. You're not there to like be away from your family for long. Like, it's work. You're going to get paid. Money pays for goods and services. You can use that money to take care of your family. Like, I don't see the point here. And this is the reason why I'm so confused about this. Like, James, what the fuck is happening here? There's something that doesn't add up here. What is the argument here? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, he says there are other things. Obviously, he denied having this. And the important thing, again, he talked to his wife. They could not get James on the phone. I'm like, what the fuck? You couldn't get, like, imagine if you're like working in the movie industry and you're married and your wife is like, she answers the phone and it's like, hey, it's Mr. Steven Spielberg or whoever, like an important director. I don't know, maybe Alfonso Cuarón or something like that. I think it's Alfonso Cuarón, the guy that made Interstellar, I think. And imagine that they suddenly that they call you and said like, hi, listen, we want to get your husband to appear in a movie, and the wife said like, no, I'm sorry, he's busy, bye. And you never bring it up to your fucking husband. Like, imagine what kind of, this is why they call her B-Pro, bitch, because that's the only term to address her. Like, what kind of fucking cunt doesn't go up to his fucking husband and tell him? And this is part of what I was talking about with the theory. I think that these are the two parts of the theory, by the way. There's only two possibilities. There's no 3 or 4 or 5. There's only 2. I think that April, his wife, April, is controlling, extremely controlling on her husband. They're married, by the way. They have children. I think they have 1 or 2 children. I don't remember. But this is what I'm talking about. It doesn't add up. Like, what kind of woman would prevent her husband from working unless they have all the money in the world? And I know that after the movie came out, they bought a house. And I'm pretty sure that the movie did not make money. Like, I'm pretty sure that the movie lost money because of how few people watched it and not enough fans bought the movie. And I've never watched it. And I'm a huge fan of the nerd. I've been watching him since like 2006 or 7, since the beginning. I never bought any merchandise, but I'm a huge fan of the nerd. But then, the quality started to drop out, and I never stopped watching it. It's just that it just got really bad, and then I stopped watching the latest videos. And that's kind of what ruined it for me. So this is the first thing. It's like, this is the first theory. His wife is preventing him from doing this. I don't know why. I don't know the reason why. I can only speculate. But we don't know the reason why. So that's the first thing. Then the second thing is, I was looking at this, and he said he could have gotten a cameo in a Godzilla film. And here's the same thing. Like, again, James Rolfe is a huge fan of Godzilla movies and the old, like, Godzilla, like, rubber suit, like, fighting against Mora Ghidorah or Mora Tapinella, whatever the fuck kind of shit. Like, all the fucking, like, things from, like, old, like, Godzilla movies. He was always a big fan, and he made a video about it. He said that it's a very hard thing to be a fan of the Godzilla movies during the early 90s, 2000s, but he was still a fan. And again, and this is what the important thing is, and this is so important. It may have been a cameo, but he could have networked, gotten more cameos, etc. That's how you start in the business. Like, it's so hard, and I'm telling you this from a person, again, that from my business, I have to make a lot of networking with companies and people and students and clients and everywhere and everyone, so that I can always be having a constant stream of income and expand my services to other people, so they're happy. So the logic goes like this: like, you have one client, he's happy, and you tell him the best thing that you can do for me is tell other people. So he tells another person, and that person tells 2 other people, and those people tell 4 other people, 16 people, 32 people. So that's how you're supposed to do it if you're going to get into any kind of business, any kind of deal. You have to start from the beginning, have to start out small, but your service needs to be good. Would it have killed him to have a fucking cameo in a Godzilla film? No. There's no way, and this is my point, there's no way that he would have passed off that opportunity for any reason. And the only 2 possibilities is he either really, really loves his children and he can't stay away from them, or his wife prevented him from doing it. Again, I don't know who Freddie Wong is. I think I Googled it at one point, but apparently that's another guy that just wanted to, like, make movies on Hollywood, and he kind of failed at it. But again, this is what I mean. Like, he had a cameo in a Godzilla film. If he would have gone there, he could have, like, said, okay, hey, if you want me to work in another thing, do you like the cameo? It was great. Okay, let me try and get another cameo and another one. Okay, now I have like 3 cameos. Let me see if I can get like a supporting role in a movie. Okay, let me see if now I can get a main role. And in a year, he could have gotten a role in a movie, guaranteed. Guaranteed. There are people in Hollywood. Stake my fucking life on it. There are people in Hollywood that would have been like, oh shit, I can get the nerd James Rolfe to act in my movie? Fuck yeah, I'll get him. And that's what they wanted, VHS 2. Same idea. Not that one. And this is another point that's very important as well. Like, was one of the biggest internet celebrities. I mean, he was probably the first internet celebrity if you think about it. Like the first video on YouTube from the guy that like uploaded it in the zoo, that's good, but it's not as good as this one. And he doesn't seem to have any passion for his job. I agree. Like again, like I mean, Mr. Beast and Penguin Zero. I guess it's a weird comparison, but like you gotta understand that Mr. Beast and Penguin Zero and all of them can trace like their inspirations to like other big YouTubers, and like JonTron, Moist Critical, Penguin Zero, Spoonie. All these people can trace their lineage back to James Rolfe because they're all saying I was a fan of James Rolfe, and that's what got me into it. And now these videos, their channels have millions of subscribers and millions of views every day, versus James. And then there was this Super Bowl Doritos commercial, which I did see, and it's an opportunity to make a Super Bowl Doritos commercial, and I watched it, and it wasn't really good, but it had James making a cameo of an angry person in it. So if you want to look it up, just type Super Bowl Doritos angry video game nerd, and you're gonna find them. So far, this is what you can get. So James Rolfe loves movies, but he declined to appear in any other movies after making his movie, which doesn't make sense. So again, we still have the two theories, that either his wife is a controlling, nagging bitch that doesn't want him to go to work anymore, and they're living off of whatever the fuck, I don't know how, or he really misses his children. And I'm going to get to it. I'm going to show you the video about it. I'm like, this one. So then I went over here, and I read, and I tried to find information about Screenwave Media to see like exactly what they do. And there's a tag for Screenwave in the Reddit, by the way. And they do endorsements. We distributed codes to key partners that reach over 5 million subscribers that generated off 1 million views in a single campaign. That's a mistake. That generated. There's no off. Generated off 1 million? No. They generated 1 million views in a single campaign. And then you read over here, by deleted, unfortunately, that sentence recorded as a scam sales pitch. Again, instead of light on any tech stuff in their client studio, they took a big game and take a share of the profits, would contribute nothing. That's kind of the point. That's what happened with James. I don't know exactly when it happened. I think it was 2016 or 2017 when Screenwave took over and they started to make the podcast that was a failure. They started to have this really, really, really obese people, really fat slobs, like trying to take over the channel and making boring content. There was a channel which is I'm gonna see if I can find it on YouTube because I want to put it over here. What the hell is in my search bar? Oh yeah, this crap. But there was I think here we go. Yeah, stupid shit. But what's the name of this? He had oh my god, I forgot what I was gonna look for. I was gonna look for something, I just forgot. This happens to me a lot. Oh yeah, talk about games. So there was this is just an example. Shut the fuck up, please. Sorry about that loud sound. But there was a what do you call this thing? A podcast. So they had a podcast for this. Oh my god, they have a no shit. They had a podcast about this, and they started making videos like 2 years ago. And I think, based on my perspective, I guess like between 20 and 15,000 views, and some of them get like, look at the views right now for a podcast. I think that for a podcast that these losers are doing, this is great. These are good numbers. You start to see it, and it's like, okay, they're getting like 15, 16,000 views per video. I think that those are good numbers for two guys. But then these fucking little gay lords decide, no, we can't keep going because we're not getting enough numbers for this. And I was disgusted by this.
Like,
so there's Ryan, big Ryan fan, by the way, who's transitioning into a woman apparently, because there's no other reason why you'd be changing your hair and like trying to dress like a woman. Like if you watch the first video, it's a man, and then he just transitions to a woman. And then they said, we're gonna stop uploading videos, and it's all gonna be like crap. And they just like 15 to 30,000 views on a fucking podcast that no one watches and it's not very famous and does not give like good opinions. Like, we're here for Mike, we're not here for Big Ryan or Ryanette, I guess now. We're not here for her or him or it. I don't know. We're not here for this person. We're here for him interacting with James, which is what they try to do with the Slovecast, I think. I don't remember what they call it, like the CINEMASSACRE podcast, which failed. And then they said, okay, you know what? Let's find another way to like get viewers. And it's just sad. It doesn't work. But this is my point. After Screenwave Media took over, they ruined the website. And James knows. So again, this goes back to the theory. What the fuck happened? There was something going on there in the middle. There's something that's going on behind the scenes that people don't know about, which is okay, you know? We're not here to tell James, like, hey, James, what the fuck? Like, you gotta, like, show us what's up. No. He needs to do his own thing. And finally, the other theory of why I believe that he loves his children extremely so, to a degree which might be harmful, is I'm going to show you this little video. So, not a bad video, by the way. Not a long time ago, by the way. But Rocky climbed the mountain, and this is a video of James Rolfe saying that he went to climb the Rocky Mountain, which I'm sure a lot of people have done. And he goes over with his friend, and he's wearing like no special clothes for it. He just gets a couple of sticks on the ground, a couple of jeans, a shirt, nothing else. And he's like, all right, it's time to climb the mountain, and let's go. And that's it. So he starts to climb the mountain, and he gets up. He spoiler alert, he doesn't reach the top. But here's the important part, and I want to show this part because this is important. I want to show this little part.
Where you died, except here, there would be only one chance. My thoughts were very complicated at that moment, but the biggest overriding thought was my children, how I had a responsibility to come back home.
You know, before I went on this trip, the night before I left, I was putting my youngest daughter to bed at night, and she was, like, kind of sad, like, I'm gonna miss you, Daddy, like, and I'm like, don't worry, I'm gonna be back in just a few days. It's not gonna be that long, and, so I'm letting her know, don't worry, I'm gonna be okay, and everything's gonna be fine. I'm gonna come back. And it reminded me of that scene in the movie, actually, where where Rocky is talking to his kid.
Anyway, I'm not going to show you the full video, but basically he talks about, like, I miss my children a lot, and I really want to see them again. And he feels like he's responsible to them for being, like, there for them. Now, again, I said that this is a moot point, because if you're a father of two children, that doesn't mean that your life is over. Let's clarify this. People still have likes and dislikes. People still have hobbies and things they want to do. People still have jobs that they want to do, which I think is great. And he said, like, I'm going to take time away from whatever work, I guess, a year ago when he made this video, maybe 2 years or between 1 and 2 years ago. I don't know exactly when he uploaded it. It's not relevant. And he says, okay, I'm going to go climb a mountain. And he says to his children before, he says, like, Daddy, please come back. I don't want you to go. I want you to be okay. And he starts crying, and he gets very emotional because he's on the spectrum, by the way. James Rolfe is on the spectrum. He says that in his book at one point. He says that he was on the short bus when he was a kid. He has some sort of Asperger's or autism. I don't know exactly which. But it does affect his, not his motor functions, but his ability to relate to people. And you know. And he's had friends. He's had support from his family, from his friends. Few friends that he has left. I don't know if he has a lot of friends now. I would say that he probably doesn't, considering that he drove away Bootsy and Mike and the guitar guy. I don't remember his name. Justin, what's his name? No, that's Justin Silverman. That's the fat slob. I don't remember. But all these people, he drove away all these people, and he ruined so much shit about it. So this is my point of content, and why I say that there are only two prevalent theories in this moment of why James Rolfe is not uploading anymore. He's not working. The first one is because of his children, for which he has an extreme level of attachment to, or an inhuman level of attachment. Like, you have to detach from yourself from your children. I know they're young, obviously. They're young and they can talk. And of course, when you're a father, I assume, I mean, I want to be a father eventually. I want to get married, have children eventually, as soon as I have money to be able to settle myself and not just take care of myself. But, like, I want to be able to eventually in the future, when I have children, not if, when I have children, Even if it's my surrogate mother and I raise the child alone or children alone, hopefully just one. I don't care. Like, I'll raise my son or daughter and I love them forever and I'll give my life for them. But you also have to learn that you need to distance yourself from them. And they need to learn that daddy cannot be around all the time because it's normal. You have to detach yourselves. You cannot be there like 24/7 next to your son or daughter. It's fine. When they're a baby, yes. Like 95% of the time that you're going to be there, you're going to be focused on your child for the first at least 3 to 4 years. Then they grow up and then you leave them alone like 80, 70% of the time. Then when they're like teenagers and adults, so you can maybe like 50%. And then when they're like 20 and 30, they're on their own. Like you don't have to see them that much. Not that you don't want to. My brother's a father. He's a wonderful father. He treats his daughter, my niece, great. And I love my niece as well. Sorry, I'm a little sick. And I love her and she's perfect and she's beautiful. She's like a little doll. She's perfect and I love my niece so much and I would die for her. No joke, I would die for my niece. And they're raising her the right way. And of course, I know my brother works a lot and his wife works a lot too. And they're both helping to make their daughter a great person in the future. And that's the objective. But the concept of saying like, oh, it's like, there are too many people. And, I got away for like 2 or 3 days. So now I can't be with my children. That's extreme. Now, again, we have the evidence here that he's crying about it. Could he be faking it? Unlikely. People with autism, I don't think they're very good at faking this kind of stuff. Like, if they feel emotions, they're probably going to tell you. He's not faking this, I think. I mean, it's very, 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 very unlikely that he's faking it. He has been caught in lies, as with the plagiarism charge. So that's one point. And this is what I was saying. Like, it could be because of his children that he wants to take care of them. But again, the theory doesn't work out for the simplest reason. If you work a lot, you have more money to help your children to do more things with them. Imagine if you had children, and again, if you had children and you couldn't go to work, or if you had children you couldn't go out and you had to stay with them 24/7. No, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. You have to be there for your children, but you also have to do other things. And we don't know what he's doing right now. And if he's focusing on Rex Viper in his little pathetic band, garage band of middle-aged men, which is terrible and doesn't have good acoustics or sound or anything or good songs or anything, there's no point. That's why one of them doesn't work out. That theory about like, I love my children too much. The other theory, like I said, about his wife like telling him to control, like stop wasting your time and all this nerd shit and like focus on the family. I think that the theory right now, the second theory, that April or his wife April is a bitch that holds him down and doesn't want him to have any kind of outside control or anything, that's the prevalent theory. And again, that's the only real thing, that those are the two theories, because there's no other possibility for this. I mean, if he has his wife telling him like, you can't go and do your little job, or you get only like 2 days per month to work on this thing and nothing more, there's something that doesn't add up. I don't know what his wife does for a living. All I know is that she's got big fucking swole arms and could probably beat the shit out of James. That's why I'm saying there's something going on here. This is not a healthy relationship going on. This is not normal. Like, a normal person would say, like, you know what? I'm going to step down from the nerd. I'm going to only upload, like, this many times per week. Or many times per month. Maybe, like, 4 videos per month. Like, 1 AVGN episode per month. Something like that. I'd be happy with that. 1 AVGN episode per month. And, like, 2 or 3 other episodes are, like, Neighbor Nerds or, like, curated content where he analyzes movies and shit. That'd be okay. If he said so. But he doesn't. He keeps everything about his family really locked tight. He doesn't talk about his family. He doesn't talk about his friends. He doesn't talk about anything. He's got that shit locked tight. And that's why I think that there's something going on. So the conclusion about this, to sum up, is that there are only 2 possibilities. And we've given evidence for both points in this case. The first one is that he loves his children too much and he doesn't know how to let go of them. Maybe because he's on the spectrum or because he loves them too much. But he needs to be able to distance himself from them. And learn that if he wants to help them, he needs to distance himself from them. That doesn't mean that you're a bad father. And the second theory is that his wife, April, is controlling him. He has him on a leash and doesn't want him to do anything related to movies anymore, because the first movie experience was terrible and she wants to control him. She wants to, like, you're a stay-at-home father now, nothing else. That's it. That's all I really wanted to talk about today. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for me. This is it. CINEMASSACRE is signing off. If you like the video, you know, just fuck it. If you like the fucking video, you press the like button. And if you want to subscribe to the channel, you press the subscribe button. You know how this works. I hate saying it, but I have to say it. I don't know why. I feel like it's so obvious, yet so few people do it, or too many people do it. And it's like, if you like the video, dislike it. And if you want to subscribe to the video, don't subscribe. It's like so obvious. Anyway, that's it for me, ladies and gentlemen. This is CINEMASSACRE signing off. If you want to drop a follow on Twitch, yes, please. Drop a follow on my Twitch, which is on the link below. And I'm also going to post the links of all the videos that I showed before. Take care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, and I'll see you guys soon. Peace out. Bye-bye.